What is up? What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's challenge. I am super stoked to be here. We're finally here. It's been a while going on leading up to the event, and I'm super excited for what we have going on, what we have in store for you all tonight. And we are ready to get going. As we go through, one of the things we're going to look at doing right here is let me set this stream up. Give me 1 second. There we go. Perfect. All right, we got that up. Wanted to make sure that we had the slides going inside the group. Welcome everybody. Tonight, we're kicking off the 5-day challenge, and we're going to be talking about success, and we're going to be talking about what it means to have a success mindset when we're approaching everything that we're doing. And so with that, we're going to go through and let's get started. We're going to be respectful of everybody's time tonight, and we are going to get going after it. So for those who do not know, we're going to be talking about the limiting beliefs. I'm going to give you the agenda. We'll go through and walk through the introduction. I'm going to share some expectations. Before we really get into that, I'm going to kind of set the stage, because I always like to set the stage and kind of share where are things at right now. I always like to kind of give the president has his State of the Union. We're going to do a State of the Union tonight, if that's all right with you guys. I'm going to share kind of my thoughts on the world, where we are right now from a wealth perspective, and give you some data behind the scenes. But then we're going to dive into the meat and potatoes tonight. We're going to talk about that success mindset. What does it mean? Why is it important? Some of those key characteristics, how to develop a success mindset, and overcoming limiting beliefs. And this is going to be a jam-packed week, you guys, that we're going to talk about the mindset. I love talking about the mindset first, because we have so many limiting beliefs, challenges that we face that impact how we show up in our own lives, how we show up in our different situations, different challenges that we get presented, and how we execute in those environments. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about goal setting tomorrow night. On the third night, we're going to dive in on multifamily real estate. We're going to talk about the strategies that the wealthy use to build generational wealth. And so then on day 4, we're going to talk about masterminds, networking, and mentorship, and how you can leverage those to build wealth. And then day 5, we're going to wrap it up with take action. We're going to close out the roadmap. We're going to have everything and kind of give a capstone of the entire week in order to be successful. With no further ado, who's Johnny Lynum? For those who don't know me, because I know there may be a few people in the room tonight who aren't familiar, who have not heard my story, but coming to you by way of LA. No, not the LA on the West Coast out in California, but the LA, meaning Lower Alabama, where I was raised and brought up. 18 and a half year Air Force veteran, Lieutenant Colonel, active duty Air Force. Continuing to serve right now, about 19 months or so out from retirement. Married to my beautiful wife, Melissa, in the picture there, and our 3 kids, Johnny, Jason, Mackenzie. And whether you know it or not, I'm passionate about real estate. I'm passionate about helping people. And one of the things that led to this challenge was the last couple of years with the coaching that I've been doing, working directly with individuals that are looking to build wealth, and looking at the traits that individuals have and how we approach success, who was successful, who wasn't successful, what led to that. And one of the things that I determined was we need to all have a strong foundation. Some people are starting from a different foundation, a different vantage point, and how do we get to that common standing point amongst everyone? And so fast forward to now, today, and this is what we're working through and giving you all for this foundation to build wealth. Whether it's through real estate, that's cool. But if not, through working in your W-2 job, working as a small business owner, working in any capacity, whatever you're doing to generate income and how you're showing up, having this mindset will lend itself to being successful in whatever you choose to do in your life, whether it's showing up in your relationships, in your health, in your goals that you set for yourself across the board. And so that's what it's all about. A published author, Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategies, what they forgot to teach you in school. And really, most of these principles, all these principles, really are based off what I talked about in my book that I wrote a couple years ago. It's out on Amazon. But really, just focusing in on success. The people that I interviewed, other millionaires that I run with in my network, my other mastermind groups that I'm a part of, where I'm continuing to have other individuals that are at a higher level pour into me and be able to understand how they make decisions, how I make decisions. How did I get and have that transformation to get where from just the snotty nosed kid, as my dad says, running dirt roads to get to the man that you see before you right now. And so success leaves a pattern. That's what we're going to talk about, these patterns of success overnight. Operation Invest, my real estate investing company, that's still active. We do about 10 to 15 fix and flips a year across Alabama and Panama City, Florida. REI Genius is my coaching company where we mentor and partner with our clients in order to change their lives through passive income through real estate investing. And so today we're talking about success. So we talked a little bit about why we're here today, but I want to make it personal. Why? I want you to drop in the chat right now. Why are you here today? That's one of the things that I know a lot of times we take for granted, that we just show up in a lot of different situations and we don't necessarily know why we're here today. I want to see some of the reasons you shared in the chat. Why are you here today? I see we got people here. Corpus Christi in the house, Dallas. Who else? We got Houston, West Monroe, Louisiana. We got Alabama, Vestavia. Oh, Keller Williams, Vestavia in the house. New York, Jacksonville. All right. Why are you here tonight? I see Learn. Okay. Learn. What are we learning? What are we learning? What are we learning? We're talking mindset tonight. Continue to go through, because I want you to think about this. Why you're here tonight? Why are you here? Why are you sharing? Why are you taking the time out of your busy schedule tonight to be here tonight? Because that is going to, I want you to understand, when you show up, that you are showing up for a reason. Whatever it is that you're doing in your life, that you got to understand why. And for me, it's building generational wealth for my family. That's my why. That's when it gets down and out, when you face those tough challenges, when life hits you in the mouth, as Mike Tyson says, or, you know, when we say in the Air Force that the enemy has a vote. When you have contact, when you meet contact with the enemy, they have a vote. And so what is the reason that you're showing up? What is your why? For me, it's my family. I want other people to say, I had big goals this year. Let's go, Brian. I love it. Kim said, learn from the best and financial freedom. Okay. Continued improvement to run multifamily numbers for the legacy wealth. That's it. The finish line has my name on it. That's why I love that. I love that. My two sons, Kelly said. That's it. So think about it. If you didn't drop it in the chat, I want you to think about why you're here tonight and why is this important to you. For those who don't know, I've been sharing a lot leading up to the new year. My goal this year for our company, REI Genius, is to help 1,000 people improve their lives. And this is one of those mechanisms, one of those tools that we're using to be able to do that, to pour into other people. So where's America today? And that's a loaded question, but we're going to talk about where's America today from a financial perspective. Because, you know, regardless of whether we want to talk about it or not, most of the time it always ends up going back to the money. Where are the resources? Pointing back at the resources. So right now, at no other point in American history has there been a better time to be alive. I would argue. Just looking at the comforts that we have, you know, access to information on our cell phones, access to food, access to travel, just you name it. But for the healthcare, everything that with the proliferation of technology has impacted man's life tremendously. And you look at it right now that you can go and press a couple buttons on your phone and have groceries delivered to your house, or you actually have surgeons who are performing surgery via robots online from thousands of miles away. And so, but with that, we still have some challenges that we face that one could argue. Pervasive technology would have redefined our lives, making an extraordinary era of progress. We're making a lot of progress in a lot of areas. But are we making them all in the right area? Does anybody know who this young lady is right here? Drop it in the chat if you know what her name is. I want to see. This is going to be a bonus question here. Anybody know? I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds if you drop in the chat if you know her name. true inspiration to know. So I don't see anybody dropped anything yet, but this is Michaela Ulmer. So she founded her company at 11 years old. She's based out of out of Austin, Texas, and she founded a lemonade company, $11 million lemonade business that she started when she was 4 years old. Took her great grandmother's recipe, built it up. In 2015, she actually got a deal with Whole Foods where they put her lemonade on the shelf in 32 stores. Then the next year after that, she went on Shark Tank and got some private investors to invest in her company with Damon Johns. And then after that, she had a few NFL players that came in, and she raised $800,000 to continue to grow her business. No, that's not my daughter. That's not my daughter. But I know definitely made her parents proud. So this is one of the things that I tell people, just with the whole mindset side. If a preteen can go out there and raise $800,000 for a lemonade business, do you believe that we can do the same thing, or we can do more? Drop a 1 in the chat right now if you know that you are on this earth and there's no reason why we can't be doing more. I just want you to be able to understand. I want to see if anybody else kind of believes that too, because I was put on the timer at that point. When I saw that, I'm like, hold on, 11-year-old went to raise $800,000. I can't go raise $200,000-$300,000 for a multifamily deal. And it goes back to what we're going to talk about tonight with some of these limiting beliefs that a lot of times we didn't grow up with money. I didn't have money. My parents didn't have money. And we take that with us. They say money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard for your money. All these cliches and sayings that ingrained in us over time that define how we show up in real life. And so unfortunately, it holds us back. Fortunate enough for her, she didn't have those limiting beliefs, or some kind of way she got past those limiting beliefs and was able to go on Shark Tank and have other individuals invest in her company with the vision. And so that's what I want you guys to be encouraged, because when I saw this, I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's what it is. But we talked about the proliferation of technology, where the current state of affairs is right now with America, and it's not all good. We got 11-year-olds that can go out and raise money, but there's still some problems that we have in the framework right now, that outside of all this technology and exposure to education, most Americans lack the basic foundational skills and strategies necessary to thrive and lead a successful life. And when I say a successful life, I just don't need from a monetary standpoint, but just from emotional, spiritual. For those that were in the Facebook group and saw what I uploaded on Saturday, I talked about the 7 pillars of wealth, but with for your soul, the community, your health, being able to build generational wealth, your spiritual health. And so just knowing all these different levels of wealth that are totally oblivious to riches and, and money. But the thing with it, when you dive into it, the wealth gap for Americans between the richest and poorest families have more than doubled from 1989 to 2016. We're going the wrong direction. And unfortunately, there's not a lot being done to fix it. And when you look at it and dive in, and we're going to show a little bit more of the data, that the top 5% of the wealthiest families in the United States, they held 248 times as much wealth as those in the median. When it comes to retirement, going through the data, it's probably not a shocker that nearly half of all American families have no retirement savings at all. Now, how can we go from having all this technology, all this access to information? You can go and watch Harvard videos of law professors, computer science at MIT, Yale. You can go through and get certifications from Google or whatever, you name it, online, and have access to information. But half of Americans don't even. The most technology advanced country in the United States. The United States is by far among the top of the food chain across the entire globe. Yet half of Americans don't have enough set up for retirement. Where are we at? Somebody said people are lazy. William said people are lazy. And I think there may be some truth to that. But not you, not the ones that's showing up tonight that's online. America today. So when you break it down by the numbers and you look at it from the actual distribution in the red, the top 20%, without a shocker, they own the majority of the assets. When you think about when they polled Americans to kind of look at what they thought it was a little about 2/3 of that. They thought it was kind of slanted towards the top 20%, but not as much in reality. And then the distribution, when they looked at what would be ideal, of course, more people thought that the distribution would be a little bit fairly broken out. But when you look at the surveys of how they broke out Americans that's on track for retirement, that 21% of the people thought that they were right on track. 52% thought they were behind on retirement savings. Was that 16% said they don't even know where to start? They don't even know they got a problem. They don't even, it's, and then you had 11 that were actually ahead of the game. But it asks you it begs the question, how did this happen? One of the drivers of significant lack of knowledge about investing among a substantial portion of the population. They don't teach us in school. It was a subtitle for my book for a reason. Because when I came out of college with a 5-year degree, electrical engineer, going into the Air Force, had no clue about credit, had no clue about stocks and bonds, had no clue about the real estate market or any of that stuff. And it was like, okay, I luckily got out there and figured it out. But the most humbling thing was I had to have a family member sign on my first lease for my apartment at my first duty station. And I was like, okay, I got to get this fixed. This don't feel good. And I'm a grown man. I got to go ask another grown man to sign on my lease. I'm like, this ain't going to fly. I wouldn't put together like that. And so I worked on it, figured it out, got my credit together. Then 1 year later, I received the opportunity to buy my first property, and the rest is history. As technology advances, many people remain still to this day uninformed about essential financial skills, and it's contributing to the disparities that we just looked at with the data. And as of Q3, quarter 3 of 2023, the wealthiest 10% in the U.S. own 66% of the total wealth, while the bottom 50% held only 2.6%. The wealth gap is getting worse. And that's why we're here today. That's why I'm here today, to do my part. Because I was on the other side of the gap. Until I had that transformation in my own life, I was there with the less than 2% assets with just student loan debt. Until I found real estate, until I found, hey, you got to be an investor. You can't just be a saver. You can't save your way to wealth. And you got to become a business owner. And doing those things, and over time being dedicated to the process, and over time you get there where you can build up to over $14 million portfolio and own over 125 assets. But it doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And that's what we're going to talk about: the mindset, the traits, everything that goes into that this week. And so that's the thing right now. When you look at it, we're not going to harp on the problem, because one of the things we're going to do, it's good to identify the problem, but now we're going to focus our time on the solution. And that's what we're diving into for the rest of our time tonight. But you just kind of go through and you look at it, that the top 0.1% owns 13.9% of the wealth. The remaining 0.9 of that top 1%, they own 16% when you look at the dark blue. And then when you start looking at the top 10%, you kind of round it out, that gray, 36%. That's a lot of wealth controlled. And then when you look over to the left in the blue, you look at the dark blue, which represents real estate, where you see a lot of that top 20%. That dark blue line represents real estate assets. The fourth 20%, dark real estate, makes up the majority of the asset there that they're holding. So success leaves clues. And so you look at the top 1%, which, the majority of business owners, multiple business, that the majority of them, they don't get paid in cash. They don't get W-2 income that's coming in. They get paid in stocks and dividends that they receive that are taxed way less than ordinary earned income. And so you see a lot of the wealth that they own is held in assets. And that's what we're all about with REI Genius, is being able to learn how to become an astute investor and buy assets. But tonight we're going through, and I got a couple of expectations. I'm going to set the ground rules for everybody. For the participants, I want you guys to stay focused. You're already engaged. I see everybody in chat. They're going through. You guys are participating. Every session, ask questions as you're going through. Be prompt. We're going to have some Q&A time on the back end, because we're going to get started at the top of the hour. Be respectful. Be ready. Take notes. It's highly recommended throughout the session. And it's going to be challenging. And at the end, we're going to ask you to actually follow through, do the homework, and participate in the group, and go through. And I think you're going to be on the best side of it when you come out of the transformation on the end. And for me, I'm going to provide ultimate respect. This is a safe space, engaging in interactive sessions, valuable information that you can go and take action on, and provide my experience, support, and guidance. And we're going to have some prize and giveaway for those that show up throughout the week and take advantage of this. So our first activity, I want to kind of break the ice a little bit. So go through, we're going to give you a few minutes to rate each one of these 5 questions. So 1, rate it as a 1 if you strongly disagree, or rate it all the way on the other side of the scale as a 5 if you strongly agree. And you can see the 5 questions there. You should be able to download, if you hadn't already, the workbooks from the files in the Facebook page. And then also, I know we sent out a couple emails with the access to the folder. So if you want to download it and have it, or feel free to use that pen and paper and actually jot down the question and kind of write down your answers and understand where you see. So I see challenges as opportunities for personal growth. If you agree with that statement strongly, rate it as a 5. But if you disagree, rate it as a 1. And just kind of go through those 5 questions. We're going to give you a few minutes to put it all together. I see some 5s there. Let's look at that next one. We got, I actively seek feedback and view criticism as an opportunity for improvement. If you agree with that strongly, it would be a 5. If you disagree, it would be a 1. Okay. I see Patrina. She says, I see challenges as opportunity for growth. She's a 5. Okay. Okay, we see some 3s. I see some 3s. I see some people being realistic. They're kind of middle of the road every day. You know, sometimes that criticism, it can hit you. It takes you a day or 2 to bounce back, which is cool. I set specific, measurable, and achievable goals for myself. Goals. We're going in on those tomorrow. Who's out here setting goals already for their life? All right, I see some 4 and 5s for all. Okay. We got some high achievers out here. Okay, Sam said he's a 4. Colette said a 5. Antronetta a 5. Earl a 4. Okay. Roland said sometimes he's a 3. That's cool. I celebrate both small and large achievements in my life. I'm a 3. I don't celebrate like I'm supposed to. I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. You got to celebrate. You got to celebrate. And then that last one, I actively seek opportunities to learn and adapt to new situations. Looking out in the future, looking for those opportunities to learn and adapt. You guys are here tonight. I know you're looking to learn and adapt. So let's go through and tally those scores up. If your number adds up and it's between a 5 and 15, guess what? You got a low success mindset. It says that it indicates areas where a more positive and growth-oriented mindset could be developed. So you got potential. You got potential to grow. Consider focusing on building resilience and embracing challenges as opportunities. If you fall kind of in the middle, 16 to 25 points total, moderate success mindset. It says you suggest a generally positive mindset with room for improvement. Okay. Identify specific areas with lower scores. Work on enhancing those aspects of your success mindset. And then if you're 26, 35, all my high achievers, you guys let me know where you're at, whether you're low, moderate, or high. But the high, you reflects a strong success mindset. You demonstrate a positive attitude towards challenges, effective goal setting habits, willingness to learn and adapt. Continue fostering these traits and continue growth. That's why I want them on my team. Let's go. Where everybody kind of fall when you add up. I see a 19, 17, total 24. Okay. Lucretia says she's a 20. William, 20, moderate. Not bad, moderate. 25, cool. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it's with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. Charles Swindoll. And I didn't really have that ingrained in me growing up. One of the things that people talk to you about, a lot of times you talk about your environment. But what I have found is your decisions drive a lot of your success, a lot more to your success than your conditions. I say that again, your decisions drive a lot more of your success than your conditions and your environment. And so the thing is that you got to focus on making the right decisions in order to achieve the altitude that you want to achieve in life. And it's no different than you think about like a plane taking off, that about 20% of the fuel when a plane takes off is used in those first few minutes to get off the ground, to be able to break through, to get to altitude, that is using the majority of its energy to get off the ground, to break through. And it's no different than, us trying to break out our environment, to change our life, to instill those new routines en route to building new habits, that we have to expend a lot of energy, but it takes time to make those decisions to get to that point. One of the other, great quote here from my mom, Ruth Lynum, she told me, this one always stuck with me, that regardless of if you're mopping floors or cleaning toilets or whatever you do in life, always do it your best. Success mindset, that you got to be positive. You got to be able to give life your best, that it's not going to always be, roses and unicorns and rainbows, that sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. Sometimes you got to go and get it out the mud, and that's okay. But know that whatever is put in front of you, that you have the wherewithal, you have the skill set in order to be successful at it, and always give life your best. Another one, thoughts become things. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Write that one down. That's one of your homeworks. I want you to check that book out. Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. The Bible has something to say about that, for the impact of your thoughts. And, it's something to it that when you start thinking about your mind and how you can control your mind, the positivity that you put in when you focus on good things versus negative things, that the impact that it can have on your life. So success mindset, why is this important? Why is this important? Because one of the things that you have to focus in and understand is that your mindset, that is going to foster your growth, your resilience, and positive outlook toward challenges. And if you don't have a success mindset, and if you have a negative mindset, then guess what? You're going to be focusing on outcomes that you don't want to happen. So it behooves us to focus in on how we can grow, on how we can be resilient, on how we can be positive with our outlook and everything that we do. Because as we focus in, and the more negative beliefs that we have, the more that we focus on what we don't want to happen, guess what? The more it is that's going to happen. And so we go through and you think about it, that that your thoughts become actions, reality. That anything that if you think about it, that your thoughts and the power of your thoughts, everything that we have exists today comes from our thoughts. Think about it. It's somebody who created the cell phone. If you're on your cell phone right now, that cell phone was created from an idea that someone had. Steve Jobs with Apple, that the iPhone was an idea before it became reality. If you think about everything in life, Henry Ford, when he made the first T-Model Ford, that he thought about it was an idea before it actually came to fruition. It actually became in reality. And so the thing that we have to realize is that life is, we all constantly bombarded and consumed by ideas. And the more that we can focus in on ideas and positive ideas, the more we can focus on those actually coming in and manifest those things into reality. And that's one of the things that we understand, that as we focus in on what our thoughts are, we set the foundation for our life. That we set the foundation for achieving our goals, overcoming obstacles, and everything that we want in our life by what we're able to focus in on. And overall, it's going to foster and embrace that overall well-being and satisfaction that we need. So one of the things, kind of going through, I love I am statements. I am. When I go through, and those that's in my coaching, they've seen my morning routine. I've shared my morning routine to kind of help them develop their own. But one of the things that I want you guys to think through, what is something that we could say here? I hope things work out. That's the H word. The H word and the T word. Like if you go ask my kids right now, we don't say the H word. We don't say the T word. Hope and try. That That's just something that was like, hey, no, we don't do that. It wasn't always that way. But over time, I realized the power of my words and my mind is like, I'm not hoping for anything. I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it. And it's no in between. And so instead of that, we say, hey, I am committed to taking proactive steps and embracing challenges as opportunities for growth to achieve X. We're going to do it. What do we want to achieve? Fill in the blank with what you want to achieve. What are you guys looking to achieve this week? What are you looking to achieve in 2024 as you're going forward? You're committed. You're taking steps. You're embracing challenges and as opportunities for growth to achieve what? What are you guys looking to achieve this year? All right. Christian said, hope is not an effective strategy. It's not. It's not at all. What are some of the things that we're looking to achieve this year? I want to see those goals. We ain't got the goal setting yet, but I know somebody out there they're looking to achieve something. For me, my achievement, I kind of shared it in front. I share it with everybody. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to help 1,000 people. I'm trying to help 1,000 people. I'm helping 1,000 people. I'm helping 1,000 people. And we're going in. And somebody said, I'm achieving underwriting some multifamily. Let's go. Take it down creatively. All right. You can definitely do it. I had a client, Reggie, just closed the Friday before Friday before Christmas on a 20 unit with creative financing. For a 20 unit, built in 98, all brick, 2-story deal. Hoping to, Samuel said he's hoping. What's that, Sam? We just talked about that, Sam. We're not hoping. Samuel said he's going to get it. He's going to achieve his first multifamily. I'm going to claim it for you, Samuel. JV, Kelly said, JV, let's go. Just go. Finding real estate deals. Okay, we got some real estate investors here, strong partners and underwriter. We're going to achieve it. And so that's the thing. We're going to have that. We're instilling that success mindset. I love it. Because that's the thing. You see the little ticker going over there to the right. Try, fail. We're going to keep trying. Then you eventually succeed. You know, everybody that succeeds, you're overnight success. Because as you go through, nobody really sees all the work behind the scenes. Janet says she wants to find 5 deals this year. So let's go. Let's go. No, 100 doors by the end of the year. Help 2,000 people get their business off the ground and thrive. Let's go. I love these goals. Acquiring cash flow with obtaining multifamily property. All right, let's go. Let's go. But the thing with it, as we go through, there are characteristics of a success mindset. And so we're going to dive into them. A positive attitude. If you don't have the notes in front of you, jot that down. You got to have a positive attitude. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. See setbacks as temporary and learn from it. That's a tough one, y'all. That is a tough one. Because I'll tell you that positive attitude, when I fired my property management company 2 times in 2023 for my multifamily, it was hard to have a positive attitude. I ain't gonna lie to you. That, we're talking about these traits and stuff, but it's not always a trajectory like that where it's a constant slope. But I'll tell you that it's more so like a roller coaster. That you got your good days, your down days. And I tell my clients that, hey, we don't want to get too high, we don't want to get too low, because you want to kind of stay that even keel and balance. But it's hard to have that positive attitude. Is it hard? Have you guys ever ran into a situation where they have that positive attitude? You go into work, and then your supervisor come in there, and they done had a bad day at home, and now they done brought it here to the office, and then they may be a little snappy, a little short, and you like, you know what? They not paying me enough. You call your wife at home, you check, it's like, hey, everything okay? You sound like a little pray for me. Pray for me. That's all you can do. Just like, hey, like they say, if I can't talk, I just wave my hand. And it be like that sometimes, but you got to keep that positive attitude. The pastor at church Sunday before last, he talked about turning the other cheek. And it's a tough one. But guess what? We got to be able to see those setbacks as temporary and learn from them. If you can learn from your failure and you understand that whatever happens to you is happening for you and that you're going to learn from it, it sucks to go through it. As you're going through the valley, it sucks. It's muddy. You're wet. It's cold. But you got to keep going. You got to keep moving. And that's the thing that when he says, he said, yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. He didn't say, yea, that I stop and sorrow and I'm building a tent in the valley. Like, no, I'm walking through. I'm still moving. I'm going through. And so that's we got to go out and understand, because we're going through, we're growing. And as we go through and we look to improve and expand these skills, we're growing. And that's the thing that we got to understand. We're changing. That change is here to grow us. And that if it's not working for me, for my good, it's working on me. It's building me into the individual that I need to be in order to achieve these things in the future that I'm striving towards, pressing toward the mark. And that's what it's all about. And we got to become resilient. We got to have the resiliency to be able to bounce back from failures with determination and view failures as stepping stones to success. Because I tell people, like, my pain is not for me, it's for you. It's for each and every one of you. Everything that I've went through in life this far, it hadn't been for me. It's been to help somebody else learn from my mistakes, my experiences, so they don't have to go through. So our pain, our struggle is not for us. We're selfish. We think it's all about us. But no, our pain and setbacks and everything that we deal with is for somebody else's benefit. If we look at it, we truly believe that. And guess what? I'm a true believer, y'all, that the good Lord doesn't put more on me than I can bear. That Philippians 4:13, that it says that we're more than conquerors. And we can do all things through Christ who strengthened us. So with that, it's like, okay, if I'm gonna take that mindset, that I got to stand on that. And a lot of times it's cool, with me, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. It's easy to sit back and quote scriptures and all that, but it's a whole other thing when you got to live them, and when you got to lean on them, and you got to depend on them, and you got to go through and understand that you can't have a testimony without a test, that you got to go through some stuff to get to your stuff. And that's what we're doing. We're maintaining that positivity, and we know that we're not going to say I can't do this, but we're going to say I'm determined to find a way to overcome blank and achieve my goals. Because I know I ain't the only person that has challenges that's going through. It's somebody out here tonight that's going through something. Whether you don't have to say it in the chat or nothing, but I know it's people that's going through stuff. You're going through challenges, but guess what? You are an overcomer. If you didn't know it tonight, you know it now. Coming in, when you leave out of here, you came in with defeated, but you're gonna leave out of here overcoming. You win. If you win, drop a 1 in the chat. If you're gonna win this week, if you're gonna win in 2024, drop a 1 in the chat. And that's what I love. I tell my kids, I'm like, we winners. We're not defeated. We're not losers. We're moving forward. I work to turn over negative to God. Okay, Antoinetta, she dropped 4 1s in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Lucretia there. Okay, Janet, absolutely. Somebody said, Kelly said, when you're uncomfortable, God is producing growth. That's it. That's it. And so that's the thing. We got to have that mindset. We got to have that understanding of where we are in the grand scheme of things, where we are in our life, where we are right now in our story and our journey, and understand our best days are in front of us. I'm a true believer in that. And so that's where we're going right now, and that's what we're building on. So how do we develop a success mindset? We got to dump the negative thoughts. I'm going to give y'all a kind of peek behind the scenes. One of the things that I do, I get my students, we write down, they go through, they identify all the limited beliefs. We got a couple questions that we go through, we ask, they think about it. It gets real deep. I've seen people kind of get into tears. I've gotten into tears before. And you think about all the pain, the failures, the negativity, people speaking this over your life. You'll never be this. You just like your parents. You just like this. And to stop all that, what we do, we write all these things down. We just have an exhaustive list of everybody that misspoke in our lives. And guess what we do? You take it outside. Don't do it in your living room, but you're going to take it outside and you're going to get a lighter and you're going to set it on fire. Because guess what? We get rid of all those limited beliefs. We getting all those negative things, those negative thoughts that we had about ourselves, that people put into us, all those negative situations. We set it on fire and we're going to cast it to the pits of hell, and we're moving forward. We're moving forward. And that's the thing, that we can't let the negativity dominate our mind, that we got to move past it. And we got to be able to seek solutions and make progress in order to get to the success that we're looking for. And we're not talking about money. We hadn't even got into the wealth side and all that, but we're talking about relationships. We're talking about our spirituality. We're talking about our souls. We're talking about our health. We're talking about our community. We're talking about all our relationships around us, on how we can show up better with our success mindset. And guess what? We're going to impact those around us, whether we're in our work, we're in our job, our business, our CEO role, our investor role, showing up for Thanksgiving dinner, wherever we're showing up at, that we're gonna be the light that we need to be out there. And guess what? You need to refuse to think through these thoughts and substitute them with positive thoughts. So you can't focus on the negativity. That the thing is that it might be difficult in the beginning. It's going to be difficult in the beginning because guess what? If it wasn't difficult, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be walking around smiling, happy. Nobody would be robbing anybody. Nobody would be stealing. Nobody would be fighting. No one would be killing each other if they all had a success mindset, a positive mindset. But we know the majority don't. And unfortunately, only there when you look at the numbers, and I've heard from Zig Ziglar was talking about it. I've heard Tony Robbins talking about it. That really, out of 100 people, truly, it's only about 5 people. They roughly around 5% that actually get it. They focus in and find the success mindset and actually live it and embrace it. And so you all right now tonight represent that 5%. You are the light of the world. You are the ones out here that are striving for perfection, even though we'll never get there, but we're striving for it. And we're striving to be our best self. Because guess what? This Japanese proverb right there, I'm not even going to butcher it. I'm not going to try to do that quote. But guess what it says? Somebody told me, I think it says, fall down 7 times, we're going to stand up 8. That guess what? Every time you get knocked down, you got to get back up again. I think I heard that on was it Trolls World Tour that my kids had me watching. That got to get back up again. But that's it. That's it. Les Brown. Okay, somebody said Les Brown. Les Brown had a quote in there that said that get rid of any baggage. Yes, we dropping all that. Sage out those evil spirits and thoughts. All right. Well, somebody bringing out the sage. Okay. True. That's it. Limiting beliefs. Let's get in here. Be transparent. You don't have to know just a judge-free zone. You don't have to share in the chat. But I want people to kind of dive in to kind of what we did before. I'm not going to read them through this time, but go through, rate them from 1 to 5, each one of the 5 questions, and then just kind of share your tally, your total in chat for those. Just take the time, add all 5 up, and then share your response there in chat. I believe that challenging and reframing negative thoughts is essential for overcoming limiting beliefs. I regularly seek feedback as means of overcoming challenges, improving myself. I view setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow rather than insurmountable obstacles. I surround myself with a supportive network of individuals who inspire and motivate me, and I celebrate both small and big achievements in my life. Let's go. All right, I see 24, 25, 22. All right, 21, 22, 22, 24. All right. I love it. We're getting past those limiting beliefs. Raymond's got a 26. Okay. Way to lead the way. The Navy's in the house. Brian's at 24. Awesome. I appreciate you guys sharing that. We all, and that's the thing that go through. And the big thing is, it's not comparison, that success is personal. It's all about you and kind of comparing you to where you are right now. Because one of the things that I have found that success is measured backwards. Success isn't, you getting, those goals that you laid down in the chat, the 100 units, helping 1,000 people, for what I'm looking to do. The goal is to be better than you were yesterday. Success is where you were 5 years ago to where you are today, looking back and measuring that transformation that you have, that growth that you've experienced to get to where you are today. That is success. So many times, especially entrepreneurs, we're constantly striving for the next goal. We got 3 to 5 year goals, 10 year goals, and a lot of times we get drowned out with fatigue, and we don't even stop to come up for air to celebrate the small wins because we're like, oh, I got to get to 1,000 units, I got to get to $2 million net worth, or whatever it is. I got to get X amount of money saved in the bank, and we don't really look at it like, man, you had 5 years ago, you were renting. You didn't even have a house. 3 years later, man, you got 10 houses. Like, that's success. Like, you got to stop and recognize that, hey, that you're successful, because there's people right now that don't have $500 in the bank, that just got laid off or wherever it is. So they would love to be and achieve your level of success where you're at. So one of the things that I found is always being able to reflect, look back where you come from, understand the growth, and appreciate the growth that you've already had. Each and every one of you are already successful for where you are right now in your life today. Whether you feel like it or not, you're successful. I'm here to tell you that you're successful because you've come through some stuff, you've grown through some stuff, and you're still pushing forward, and you're still looking to go further and achieve more. So salute to each and every one of you for already being successful with where you are right now. And so kind of going through the results, as you can see, 16 to 20. It's kind of that middle ground. Congratulations. Your responses indicate your strong recognition of importance of overcoming limiting beliefs. You're likely have a positive and growth-oriented mindset. If you're above 20, then you're right there. You're definitely outstanding. Your high score suggests you got a robust mindset in overcoming limiting beliefs. If you're a little bit less than 16, okay, you're a moderate level of agreement with statements, but there's room for improvement. And that's what I love about this. Is like, it's always it's one-on-one. It's not you and anybody else. You're not comparing scores. It's you, and you're looking at where you are and what you're going through right now, and then where you're going in the future, and kind of continue to build off of this. So how do we overcome limiting beliefs? For me, the big one with me, and I kind of point back to my first deal that I ever done in real estate, was, it was the big transformation for me, because I took a huge leap of faith. And if literally and figuratively, if you read my book, you would know kind of that story about me having to jump over the fence to kind of get in the backyard and see if it was water in the pool. But it was a transformation, because like for years and years I had analysis paralysis, and I was studying a lot. I love, nerding out, getting information, YouTube, bigger pockets, reading books, all that stuff. But I was like, man, at some point you got to get out here and get some real estate. You got to touch some real estate. You got to get into the house. You got to get your first deal. And so it took a lot of that, but I had to overcome limiting beliefs, because I had never done it before, and nobody in my family had ever done it before. My parents had only owned one home. That was it, that we lived in. And so for me, I had to identify those negative thoughts and identify, how do I get past that self-doubt in place. It took some years, because I was comfortable. I had a really good job. I had bought a couple foreclosures as my primary residence using my VA loan. So we had assets. We were doing good. It's like, okay, but I knew there was a whole nother level, and I had a whole lot more potential, but it took time to get past those limiting beliefs before I could tap into my potential. And so I had to recognize that self-doubt and realize, like, hey, everybody out here, they're no smarter than you. They just took action in doing it. And as I get more and more out here, it's like when I feel uncomfortable doing certain things, and I look at it like, oh, that's probably what I should be doing. If I feel uncomfortable, it's stretching me, it's taking me to a whole nother level, then that's probably what you should be doing. And so that's the thing that we got to realize. A lot of people say you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and it's true. And you got to be able to learn how to cultivate a can-do attitude. Focus on solutions rather than problems, and believe in your ability to overcome challenges. That you have to do that. That whatever is put in front of you, that you got to be able to achieve it and move past it. We say in the Air Force that flexibility is the key to air power. That because it's always something that wasn't planned for, something that it's never 100% goes by the book, by the plan. That you're going to have to adjust real time and make decisions. You got to be able to think on your feet. And that's what I love about the training that we get in the services, the operational experience, that you get so much stuff thrown at you. It's like real estate. We got a leaky plumbing. Okay, fix it. It's like so many people freak out with certain situations, like it's not life or death, so we're good. So it's like you have a different perspective, and that's why I love working with veterans and with militaries, just because you go through and you process information a certain way and you see the world a certain way. And so we have to improvise, or you wouldn't be able to be successful if you didn't know how to improvise in the service. And I know Raymond can attest for that, being out on the boat, that a lot of times you probably just got to figure it out, because you're just out there, it's just you and your shipmates, and that's it. So, but that's what it's all about. Being able to get past overcoming beliefs. I'm not good enough to succeed. I am continually learning and growing, and my skills and abilities are improving every day. I am fully capable of achieving success in whatever. You fill in the blank through dedication and perseverance. Dedication and perseverance is going to get you there each and every day. All right, I see somebody else said U.S. Navy. All plans are great till the first round is fired. That's it, Brian. You're right. All right. We got a who y'all out there, Veteran Family Solutions. Okay, let's go. We got the vets in the building. Setting and pursuing goals. We're going to dive into this one. We're going to go into the SMART framework: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. We're going to talk about that one tomorrow, and about visualization and what does that look like. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to get into the goals tomorrow night. But one of the ways you go is like, I want to make more money this year. In the next 12 months, I am committed to striving to achieve robust financial health by consistently increasing income streams by what blank percent, diligently saving X and investing X, and cultivating a sustainable financial plan that aligns with both short-term objectives and long-term aspirations. You got to speak it. You got to write it down. We're going to talk about that with the goals, but you got to, like the Bible says, that write down the vision and make it clear, make it plain, that you got to write this stuff down. You got to write down your goals. We talk about the power of writing down goals. We'll get into that tomorrow. But being able to embrace challenges, once you set this mindset up, that you view challenges as opportunities, you look for opportunities to seek feedback and learn with constant improvement, personal development. One of the big things that I love and I'm huge that I'm about that's changed my life is accountability groups. Being around like-minded individuals that can help you be better. They can call you on your BS. They can tell you like, hey, nah, you're not doing this right. You need to do better. You can do better, and go through and you make the changes that you need to. Then you report back the next week. And I'm super excited about what we're doing right now with REI Genius. We're rolling out our accountability programs across the board. So that's something that I'm super excited that we built out the last few weeks, and we're putting in place that I think it's going to pay dividends for everybody involved. I don't know if I can do this. It seems too difficult. So I'm determined to turn obstacles into opportunities, figure out ways to blank and make things happen. That's what we do. Cultivating your success network. We're going to talk about this on night 4 with the mentorship and with the mastermind groups and networking. But you want to surround yourself with positivity, and you want to seek out mentorship. Seek out guidance from those who have achieved success in the areas that you're looking for, and those that can help, where you can learn from their experiences and apply those lessons to your own journey. That's the cheat code. That's the cheat code. That's how you can accelerate your wealth building journey. That's how you can accelerate your journey doing whatever it is that you want to do, is by being able to learn from other people's mistakes. And that's how we define wisdom, is learning from other people's mistakes and not having to make them your own. Because guess what? We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to go out here and make all these mistakes. We got to learn from other people's mistakes, and in order to achieve everything that we want to do. I'm actively building and striving to a thriving success network by fostering meaningful connections, collaborating with like-minded individuals, and leveraging diverse perspectives to propel my personal and professional growth by doing X. Meet somebody tonight. That's one of the things. Introduce yourself to somebody tonight that you didn't know in the group. And I think one of the things that we go through with, we'll talk about it with celebrating success and then wrap up, that I'll come back to that. But definitely, I think while we're talking about networking, definitely meet somebody new tonight that you didn't know. Celebrate successes. This is one that I talked a little bit about earlier that I don't do as often as I should, but just reflect on the progress. We talked about success is measured backwards. Reflect on your progress, your accomplishments that you've already achieved, and celebrate those milestones. It's going to keep you motivated. You're going to look back and you're like, man, I've done all this. It's like, okay, that's pretty good. to come from where you came from. And my dad was here for the holidays, and he was like, he was sitting in, what conversation was that he was listening in that I was having? He sat in on one conversation, and he's like, is that same little pea-headed little boy that's talking all that on the phone? We were riding somewhere in the truck, and I was on the phone, and I was breaking that. Matter of fact, I was breaking down a deal and going through and kind of having the conversation and kind of walking through the numbers. And then he was like, man, he was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I guess so. It is me, the same guy. But that's the thing, that we all come from a long ways, and be proud of where you come from, and just know that everything that you've been given has gotten you this far. And guess what? To get to that next level, it's going to take another level of information and ideas and individuals to get you there. But it's definitely achievable, because guess what? You already gotten this far. And so why stop now? And so cultivate a grateful mindset. You got to be extremely grateful, because it doesn't have to be this way. It could always be a lot worse. And always acknowledge those positives in life. I haven't achieved my goals yet. It's not perfect, but I'm making some really good progress, and will continue to grow until I reach my goal. And let's go. Somebody said, anyone in Minnesota? All right. We got Tuscaloosa Roll Tide in here. We got TGFF and the Military Sea are the best. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Gene Boykin. Yep. The Go-Getter family. Yep. We're going to be down in Houston, Texas, February 22nd through the 25th. Shameless plug. We'll talk about that later, though. Continuous learning and adaptability as we wrap up is a big one, but you got to stay curious and open-minded, and you got to be flexible and have the flexibility in the face of change. And just know that adaptability is key component of success. That I said it earlier, flexibility is the key to air power. You got to be able to continuously learn and adapt to your surroundings in order to be successful. And I think that's the thing, that we just got to adopt a mindset of change as we're going through in order to be successful. You can see that power statement there of how you thrive in the face of new challenges and adversity, and stay curious, open-minded, and enhance your overall personal growth. We got one here. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to kind of set the stage, and we're going to go in. I can't tell it like E.T. can tell it, but one of the things that really stood out that, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Eric Thomas, the hip-hop preacher, but one of his mantras that he really hits home with is, you got to want success as bad as you want to breathe. And so I'm going to kind of jump halfway into the story, but it was a young man who was really, really hungry about success. And he got introduced to this billionaire. And this billionaire, was an older gentleman, was wise, had found a lot of success in life. And he approached the gentleman and asked him, what does it take to be successful? I want to be successful just like you. What does it take? And so the older gentleman, he told him, he said, if you want to be successful, I tell you what, are you in town tomorrow? He said, yeah. He said, I'm still here, but depending on what time, he's like, I got to get out of flight. He's like, don't worry about your flight. You're going to make your flight. He said, meet me outside on the beach out front of the ocean at 4:30 in the morning if you want to be successful. He was like, cool, I'll meet you there at 4:30. And then I'm gonna jump into the story, so we don't have to listen right here.
My man, like, I'm about to go back in here. This child is mine. Adrian, like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He making money, but he crazy. He said, come on out a little further. Came out a little further. Was right at his mouth. My man, like, I'm about to go back in here. This child is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man getting scratching, holding him down. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you're trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about When you're trying to breathe, it's to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you got to be willing to give up sleep. You got to be willing to work off for 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, some days you're going to have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you got to want it. You got to go days without, listen to me, you got to want to be successful so bad that you forget to eat. Beyonce said once she was on the set doing her thing, 3 days had gone by, she forgot she didn't eat because she was engaged. I never forget when 50 Cent was doing his movie, I did a little research on 50, and 50 said that when he wasn't doing the movie, he was doing the soundtrack. And they said, when do you sleep, 50? Sleep. He said, sleep. Sleep is for those people who are broke. I don't sleep. He said, I got an opportunity to make a dream become a reality. Don't try to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it. Don't go to sleep until you succeed. Listen to me. I'm here to tell you today that you can come here, you can jump up, you can do flip, you can be excited when we give away money. But listen to me, you will never be successful until I don't have to give you a dime to do what you do. You won't be successful until you say, I don't need that money. Because I got it in here.
That's it. Kind of as we wrap up tonight, leaving with a quote, final thought from Henry Ford: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that's what it is. That at the end of the day, whatever you say, you're right. And so that's what we're all about. Make sure that you're thinking through and you have those positive thoughts with everything that you're doing. And the rest is going to be history. With that, we went a few minutes over tonight. Mindset for the homework tonight. I want to say, everybody, thank you for showing up for yourself tonight. Introduce yourself to somebody new, and then drop a live video inside the chat and just share kind of your big takeaway for tonight. Would love to hear that. And just kind of, I actually watch each and every one of the videos. So make sure you do that and participate and stay engaged. And yeah, and I'm going to hang back for any questions. Anybody got a few questions or whatever that we can take? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we're going to make a little time for a few questions here. All right, I see some thank you so much. Yeah, no, I love it. Yes, we off to a good start tonight. Y'all have a good night. I see some networking going on in the chat. I love it. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow night. If you got any questions or anything, you're looking for anything and information, just drop it in the chat. Tag me, tag Faye, or Mav in there, and we got you. Look forward. We're off to a great night. We're working on that transformation. We're going to build this roadmap to success this week, and I'm so glad and thankful that you guys are tapped in and you chose to be here tonight. Y'all have a blessed night.